Episode 28, Dave and Joe. Nice to be back, and we got a bunch of topics on the verge of the high school baseball season opening. A lot of people, want to hear what we have to say about organizing practices and coaching, and they want to hear some instructional stuff. So,
and how do you decide
and here we are.
A player should be on the team when he's on the edge, when he's not the most talented kid in the room, when he didn't perform the best at tryouts? How do you decide when he's on the edge or the cusp of being...
Are you talking about the lower levels when they're trying out for the first time?
Yeah, when they're beginning. You're meeting up for the first time. Or
this is in high school.
Yeah, and they're on the cusp of possibly making the team, but they're not quite there. How do you select? Okay,
we had this discussion last night at our coaches meeting. We have a meeting every year about the responsibilities and the times of when we're gonna practice and how many kids we're gonna keep. And this subject came up, and there's two different theories. One, if a kid shows anything at all and he's got a great attitude, he's worth keeping around. So maybe he's a late developer, and you can, if he has one really good quality, or maybe one good physical quality and a great attitude, you keep him. Because if you try to explain to him, hey, you're not gonna, you might not play a lot, but you can come to practice every day, you can learn the game, and maybe you'll develop into something, and we're going to try to develop you. And we expect you, if you want to be on a team and understand your role, that we expect you to be supportive at all times, rather than maybe snickering or say something behind people's back or being a distraction. You just say, here's your role, and you do it in a nice way, not like I'm just doing it matter-of-factly, but you do it so the kid says, hey, I really feel like I'm a part of the team. The other side of it is, I want to win, and this guy will never play varsity baseball, therefore I don't want to keep him. Mm-hmm. That's the other side. And that's just like a callous side, really. And my feeling is that the coach just only cares about winning, and he knows this kid won't help us win in a Frost F level, which I don't really care about Frost F level. I just want them to develop and maximize their skills, so maybe they can play varsity or just get what they want out of it. Say, hey, maybe I only want to play 2 years Frost F baseball. Maybe I know I'm not good enough to play varsity, but I want to be a part of a team for 2 years. I mean, that's kind of what we're perpetuating. But that side is, hey, I just want to win, and this guy's not going to help me win. And it's really important to win a Frost-Off championship or a sophomore championship, which I'm totally against. Sorry. I mean, I already like the two different types. I've already said what side I'm on. And you?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely... everybody wants to win. But you win the right way.
Yeah.
You win by developing players. You turn players into good people. You don't just make them players.
Right.
You don't teach them hard-headedness. You don't teach them stubbornness. You don't teach them talent above everything. If a kid is working his ass off and he's on the edge of making the team and not making the team, you should give him the benefit of the doubt and see what happens. Because when you're straightforward with him, like a coach should be, and be realistic about his playing times and the reps that he's going to get, and explain to him why, if he accepts his role, that doesn't mean he can't work his ass off and make it to the top. That doesn't mean he can't surprise you in a year.
Right.
But if he accepts his role and chooses to be on the team, that's two people entering into an agreement. It's not like he didn't accept and he's being forced to be on the team. And so I think when it's on the edge like that, you give the kid the benefit of the doubt, because you could change his life, could keep him out of trouble after school activities, bring him into a second family where he's meeting friends and being a part of a bondage. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. And also that one kid could be a leader in a leader type role that other kids, kind of look up to in a way.
Yeah.
And they might say, well, he's on the bench, but look how well he handles it.
Yeah.
I mean, because usually when you let a kid be on the team like that, who works his ass off, he's got nothing but, pride in his work ethic.
And that's the success story of keeping kids.
Exactly.
And, with this preponderance of travel ball and how parents just think it's the greatest thing in the world. This is the greatest thing in the world. When you save, maybe not save a kid, but you give a kid a chance at a high school career.
Mm-hmm.
And he's with you every day. Like you just said about family. Well, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you have a successful program, and I understand why parents, love travel. They, in the Chicago public school system, which we're a part of, maybe there's not the trust that there's a lot of good coaches in the system. So therefore, they want to go outside the system. But they pay $2,000 to $4,000 to go outside your system, and not every kid is good enough to play on the weekends.
And let's be honest, they don't do that shit for the coaching. They do it to see their kid play. And when the kid doesn't make the good travel team, he goes and starts for the shittier travel team.
Right.
They want to see their kid play so they can post pictures of them. But they should care a little bit more about, the quality that they're getting.
Yeah,
there's not necessarily...
They don't care about... They really care more about... They don't care about the kid, usually. Yeah. It's like...
The coaches are not necessarily good.
I get to talk to my neighbor. I get to tell my neighbor that my kid's on this fucked up travel team.
Mm-hmm.
But I get to talk about it. So it was more back when we were playing that, hey, I made varsity as a freshman. I mean, that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And if I made a team, I would say, wow, this is good. I didn't care about travel team because I was with these guys every day. I'm with kids every day at school, and the same kids I'm with at school are on my team. That's family. Yeah. Now, this bullshit with travel teams, you see them on the weekends. They're gun for hire. They're just like mercenaries. Okay, let's get them all together. That's not a team. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of all-stars or semi-all-stars. They're not even, okay, we're going to get a bunch of pitchers and burn their arms out and just play in these tournaments, which is all bullshit because all it does is put money in people's pockets. And the reason why coaches do it is because they're underpaid in the school system. They get paid a ton of money. Therefore, their emphasis is more on travel because they get paid more. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest here. Yeah. I just got asked to be the senior all-star coach for one of the two major league teams in the city. Okay, and as much as they're going to pay me, but I just can't grasp at it because why would a kid listen to me? I'm just like a figurehead. Okay, have somebody in charge. These guys all have their, they have their teams, they have their personal coaches, and this is just okay. We're playing for a major league team's senior all-star team. I have to do it, but my heart's not really in it because it's just a get-together for a month and a half. Mm-hmm. It's like a glorified travel team, but I just don't have the stomach for it.
Yeah. And see, the difference there is at least you have some opportunity to do it a better way, a little bit better, with the time that you have. But that's the problem because I'm not taking a stab as much at the parents because they think they're doing a good thing with the travel team. They think that they're getting good coaching. And it's not to say that some of these coaches are not good coaches, but here's the structure. You play this many games on the weekend, depending on which travel team you're on, maybe a game or two during the week. You travel all these places, that's what makes it popular.
Right.
But where's the practice time? Where's the opportunity to take the kid and say, this is what you did wrong, here's how we fix it?
Who develops them?
The high school coaches.
We do.
Exactly.
And so
it's not that these other coaches
all our
aren't
hard
good.
work.
It's just that they're not getting, they're not teaching because...
Sometimes we have to undo the guys that do.
Yeah.
Well, do it this way. And it's wrong. And so we have to undo. I've had a lot of kids come back for the fall season. I said, what are you doing? Well, our travel coach told us to do that. I said, well, it's wrong. Mm-hmm. And they don't know any better. I'll give kids a lot of credit. They trust coaches. Coaches are in a position where they're role models. And if you're telling kids the wrong stuff to do, that's going to hurt them down the road. Mm-hmm. and they still get paid the same fee no matter what, and they can say whatever they want to, but a lot of it's wrong. I have faith in one travel program throughout the area. One. 3 of our kids are in it. But I know the guy who's involved in it, and he played in the big leagues for 9 years. Plus, he played in the public school system, so I know he came up the hard way. And he does all these free clinics, and he's doing as much as he can to make it respectful and help the kids. So that's the type of guy I like, and so that's why I recommend him. That's the only one. I mean, all these ace and elite teams. I mean, it's just like take the best kids, cherry pick them, and just play all these tournaments where you play 5 or 6 games a day. It's just garbage.
Mm-hmm. And I think if a travel coach is going to teach something, just help teach them the game, not so much the mechanics. And if you don't know parts of the game
Right.
from just your experience,
You're talking about situations,
situational,
strategies.
why you should or shouldn't have run or took the next
that's right.
base,
Yes.
right? Because you can have a sit down with them right after the play and show them. And if you don't know and you're telling the wrong thing there, then you do not belong in the coaching scene. If you don't understand situations and the strategic moves there, that's a different story. But you should be teaching them that because they've been playing for this amount of years versus you, who I would assume has this amount of years playing, this amount of years coaching, and that adds up to I've seen this situation before. Let me share my knowledge. But if you don't have time to sit there and really just teach properly the mechanics of hitting or pitching or
Right.
Fielding a fly ball properly and
Right.
getting behind
Right.
it. If a kid's telling you his
That's
arm
us.
hurts, if he's telling you his arm hurts, go right to his baseball coach and say, "Hey, he told me this. You should check his motion out."
Yeah.
That's I think the structure should be.
Yeah.
Or you see something funky, but you don't have time to teach them. This is the structure of travel ball. It's reality. You don't have time. Go right to their baseball coach. Send them an email. Hey, I noticed this. You should check it out.
Yeah.
You're the eyes and ears in the summer.
It should be in coordination with the high school
Exactly.
program.
Every guy. I got 10 guys on the team. Each of them are from 4 different high schools.
Talk to each of those guys.
Contact.
There you go.
Hey, I noticed this.
Then I wouldn't think it was so bad if you're doing that, but they don't do that.
Hey, I noticed this about some of your players. Let me know what you think at your next summer practice or something.
Yeah.
And, it can be corrected. But when guys are running off doing 2 different things, I mean, when does that ever work?
Never.
You ever see a married couple disagree on a kid and it works out?
No.
Doesn't. They got to agree.
And then you get into a travel program where they teach hitting the same way to every player.
Mm-hmm.
No matter the body type, the skill level, whatever. And that drives me crazy too because, you don't know enough to teach more than one style because you want to teach a 4'11" kid to hit a home run. Or you want to have a 6'5" guy chopping down on the ball. I mean, this is what you deal with. So it's just enough, but it's here and it's not going to go away. Are we supposed to work with them, or are they the future? I think they're the future. I mean, because how many high school programs are respected, and how many high school programs can actually pay to keep good coaches around? That's why they go to summer programs. They work 2 days a week and they get paid 5 times the money.
Yep. And you know what? You can't really blame the idea of travel ball. It's great. You're 15 years old and all you have to do on the weekends is play baseball.
Yeah, you get 2 uniforms, you get a bag.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What else? What else you get? You probably get, some coaches are hooked up with some sporting goods company. You get some free
It
stuff.
just has to be done better.
Yeah, it's like it's like the airplane industry
There's no genuine
insurance.
There's no genuine care for the kids.
Right.
It should be more about them.
There's no regulatory people above saying this is the way it should be. They just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Just like the airplane industry, the insurance industry, there's no barriers. They just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And that's why our rates are so fucking high.
Good call. What's next?
You tell me.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so I guess we can get back into the season starting. So I saw on social media a pretty good drill, which I shared with you yesterday.
It's fantastic. And it's like genius, and I never even thought of it. Go
Let me
ahead.
see where I saw it. Let me pull it up.
Oh, I
first.
thought you made it up.
No. I realized the benefits of it with me and my good friend were discussing the drill. I wish I made it up. It is. This is where I found it. At 6'4" Club. Sean Travers. That's where I saw it. Okay. So these guys are basically going through double play work with a medicine ball. So, they got the footwork going across second as if they're the shortstop getting the feet from the second baseman. They catch the ball here at their chest and turn as if they're going to throw to first. That's one progression. Then they do it again and they actually throw the ball 5-10 feet because it's a 6 to 8 pound medicine ball. The benefit here is where I found is especially with kids who are kind of new to baseball or still really trying to develop their skills. Nobody ever wants to use their hand and glove together. But if you throw them a medicine ball, they can't catch it with one hand. It's 8 pounds. So they have to put their hands together. They have to work like this. It's ideal that
With
they
or
catch
without
it
a
here.
glove?
Without a glove. So they catch it here, right? Imagine them trying to catch a medicine ball like this. It's going to drag them down.
Well,
It's going to drag them down over here. If they catch with one hand, it's going to drag them down. It's going to hurt. So
they're not going to catch it.
Exactly. So it's working on giving your partner a good feed as you're coming across second for a double play. They have to have hands together.
That's a genius drill.
And then it exposes things. One, you gotta be strong to catch the medicine ball. So you're seeing, which kids are letting this thing go through and hit them in the face. It happened to one kid. Where I did it with, and it didn't happen after that because he learned his lesson. Secondly, if he catches it and lets his hands drop, that exposes bad mechanics that you don't want to happen, so you can easily point that out, right? Because if I get a double play ball here, I don't want to bring my arms all the way down just to wind back up and throw. I want to get it here and go right to first. So it's teaching all these good mechanics while maintaining footwork. Then you work through those progressions, and then you lose the ball and you get the ball in the glove, and it's like day and night because then you do the same drill
with a league ball.
With a league ball, and you go through the same progressions, and now it's lighter. And here's the other. There's so many benefits to this drill, but here's the other one. You can't. Everyone wants to throw before they have the ball.
They got to catch it.
They want to throw before they feel the ground ball.
They got to catch it, and they got to
You can't go anywhere with this ball. It's coming slower, but it's heavier, so you have to be focused and make sure you get the ball.
And also, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to have the right footwork too.
Exactly. And so with baseball, it's a little easier to try to throw it without the ball. You get too anxious, you go early, it's smaller, it's moving fast. Next thing you know, you go to throw, but the ball's on the floor. The medicine ball makes you stay here, makes you catch it firmly because it's heavy, and then you go. So it's one thing at a time. Then you get your baseball and you get your glove. Now you're doing the same flips. Now you're focused, you're zoned in. You're used to using two hands. You got good footwork, receive and throw, receive and throw.
That's genius.
So that's a good drill that I found, and it's not like someone pointed out the benefits, but that's what There's a lot of things that come to the table.
And you know that I'm going to use that starting Monday.
Yeah, I mean it's good, and you can put in a couple groups at once and have them going fast. You use 1-2 medicine balls at a time and just going in a circle and stop them whenever they fuck up. I mean, tell them like, look, this is the point of the drill. You just got exposed here. This is how we fix it.
Yeah, and so many times in the last couple of years, I see one guy going out with his hand, and then he's got to bring it all with the ball, and he's got his right foot on the second baseman I'm talking about. Right foot on the base rather than the left foot, and he gets exposed, he drops the ball, he gets taken out, there's nothing on to throw, all different things. It's just a really good drill.
Yeah, and we talk about how important it is to have hand and glove together, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm here and you throw it over here, a medicine ball, imagine how hard it is to go back this way and use two hands still. So that just emphasizes even for the guy giving the feed, how important it is to give a good feed so he can use hand and glove together.
I think, the feed, you're going to have to square up to throw it to get it in that little, it's a small area, and especially with a medicine ball. It's great.
Yeah. So,
excellent.
I mean,
Do you have another drill?
Yeah, I mean, I use a communication drill that I was talking to you about yesterday.
Yeah,
but,
explain that.
This one is really more for your teammates if they're having trouble communicating. If they don't talk, if they're timid, if they're new to the game, if they just you don't know if the team chemistry is there. This is something I do to make them.
Well, I'll give you a question. And
It's kind of fun.
Well, I'll give you a question. When do kids get the most timid?
When they have to talk. That's
No.
one of them.
What?
When they're on the field, when the ball gets hit to them.
What part of the game do kids freeze up on?
Defense.
When it matters, right?
Yeah.
When it's a game situation. Hey, everybody's talking early in the game.
Yeah.
Now it's a one-run game. Now it's tied. Yeah, and all of a sudden there's no talk.
And or the opposite, it just gets completely flipped on them and they're hanging their heads.
Yeah.
So now the ball gets hit in the gap and the third baseman isn't directing the cutoff man anywhere.
No, he's totally quiet. He's pissed off that the pitcher gave up a double possible triple and says getting that cutoff guy lined up. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm pissed. No talk. And now you leave the shortstop in no man's land because he doesn't know where to go and he's waiting for the third baseman to say something. I've heard shortstops say, "Where am I going? Where am I going?" Mm-hmm. Right to, left to, stay there.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I don't really know how to explain the beginnings of like a strong, camaraderie on a team, but it happens, and it happens just by silly, fun, more upbeat things. And next thing you know, the third baseman didn't know the shortstop, but a day or two later, he's screaming at him like he's known him for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Isn't the best teams you played on communicated the best?
Yeah. I mean, that's really all it is. Just get your guys talking to each other. So
you know what? That makes for a lively practice, too. When you talk instead of guys like, hey, you guys better pay attention and talk or, you're going to run. So that everybody's talking. And you know what? That's why we do that 5-ball relay drill. Because 5-man relay drill. Because everybody talks, and to where to throw the ball. And it's a good drill.
Yeah. So, this drill, and you know how basketball gyms are. They echo. They're not great acoustics. So, in particular this day, we had an ROTC group on one side of the gym. We had a couple softball girls on one side of the gym. So I was in the middle with a group of kids, and you got noise coming all over the place, and I made them get in a 3-man relay. So the guy in the middle is the cutoff, and I had them close their eyes and just walk around in random places. And then I told them to stop. And if they didn't go far enough, I would direct them before.
You had them close their eyes.
I would say, close your eyes. I would tell them, this is what I want you to do. If they didn't do it good enough, I would direct them, give them a path to take. I would say, take 6
But
steps. No one else knew.
Okay.
And so they would move out of line, right? Because you want to line the cutoff man. You want to line him up. So then the guy who would receive the throw, I would have them talk to their partner. Now you got all this noise going on, and you got each guy communicating to their partner where they have to go with their eyes closed. So it's a communication drill. Obviously, it's not realistic for some cutoff man to be completely turned around, 180, nowhere near the base. The drill is to make them talk. So not only are you talking to a cutoff man, but I am.
When do you tell them to open their eyes?
When the guy who's going to receive the throw gives me the thumbs up, when he says they're lined up.
Oh, that's really good drill.
So here's the thing. The cutoff man's got to know my voice, so he's got to pay attention. I have to be loud because you got all this other noise going on, and I got to be detailed because it's not a left or right.
Yeah.
Because their eyes are closed, and I just sent them everywhere.
Yeah.
So now he's lining them up. He lets me know they're open. I tell them to open their eyes, and they get with a throw to their chest, and then they proceed to do their footwork and turn glove side and hit their guy. And that's a communication drill, and it was funny because the guys with their eyes closed, they felt silly. Other guys are screaming and laughing.
That's a great.
Like I said, turn your body, don't turn left.
See, that promotes camaraderie and also communication.
And I told him, I'm like, look,
it's a great drill.
If you can line your guy up here, you shouldn't have a problem screaming left to, right to, get deeper. Right, and you're using 3 different words there versus being detailed and lining a guy up. I thought that was a good drill, especially with noise because it's forcing the guys to be loud.
Okay, the last thing. Since we talked about closed eyes, okay, so we're almost in the college basketball playoffs. So I use this drill for a lot of different reasons, but in practice, I make free throw shooters close their eyes for a lot of reasons. Number one, they have a tendency to watch the ball in flight rather than watching the target. So I make them close their eyes. And then when I make them close their eyes, and I said, shoot the ball with your eyes closed. Then they find out if they're balanced the free throw line.
Mhm.
And you should see some of these shots. And so I said, close your eye. And some guys, they're perfectly balanced and they make it. Okay. So I don't mean to be like bragging, but I did it one time and I did 10 in a row.
Mhm.
And because my balance was good and it depended on my touch, it was the same thing except my eyes were closed.
So when they close their eyes,
So you're like,
it helps them determine if they're in a good state.
yeah. So if you're like this and say, now close your eyes, okay. Some guys balance off here. Some guys are weak on the ground or like this, or they're not in an athletic position. Their knees are locked, and the ball's going to go all over the place. Now, going back to baseball, Rick Peterson, who's the pitching coach, I think he's with the Mets now, but he used to be pitching coordinator with the White Sox and with Oakland, and a really good pitching coach. And he's on a website. I think it's 3P Sports. But he used to have his pitchers close their eyes if they had trouble throwing strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is there a problem with balance? Is there a problem with your release? And so he'd get guys in a stretcher, get guys in a windup, and some guys would figure it out and say, "Oh, I'm off balance," so they'd be up here like this. They can feel themselves falling one way or the other. Or they can feel getting out of slot, and some guys would throw the ball. If they were right-handed pitchers, they'd throw the ball to the third base dugout. So you know that their delivery is flawed. Then you can work with them after that. Say, see, here's what you're doing wrong. If you're really knowledgeable about pitching,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Some guys could get it close, but then you can just like really work with mechanics. And so, okay, your windup, you're not good with your windup. Let's try from the stretch. So he'd get there from the stretch like this, okay? And
what do you do this on flat ground?
Mound and flat ground. So you'd go like this, and the leg lift would go up, and we'd figure out, okay, he still can't throw strikes, or the windup is flawed, he threw strikes. So Rick Peterson wrote a whole article about this, and it's brilliant stuff. I haven't used it this year, but I've used it in the past, and it really helps pitchers with their control and their release point and stuff like that. And I suggest people do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like you could, especially if you are one of the players that know a little bit about the mechanics.
Right.
From your coach telling you.
I would.
If you close your eyes,
you really
would
know.
probably be able to feel
Exactly.
right away.
And I think you really could teach that, you personally. Because I think you're the pitching coach there at your high school.
Yeah.
So, maybe I can get this guy to throw more strikes, because if you throw strikes, first of all, in high school, time is, instead of a 2-hour, 30-minute game, it becomes a 1-hour, 30-minute game. Okay, strike. They might hit some, but they might hit some right at us, and some guys can't hit strikes, get some strikeouts. Boom, 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 the game's over real fast,
But
1 or 2
I told the
bucks.
kid today, I said, look, if you want to pitch, you have to throw strikes and you have to hold the runners out.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
That's another thing, because that's a player. They're so fixated on throwing strikes and getting hit, they forget about the base runners. So that's another thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you really want to say, okay, let me see you close your eyes and throw the ball, and then he said, oh, now I know how to teach him. But will this guy figure it out himself?
Yeah.
I know what he's doing wrong. Okay, you could see if he's a lefty pitcher, you could see his hand going like this, and the ball goes that way. Or he goes too much, and the ball goes that way. Or he falls off one side or the other,
Yeah, it's a good drill. I like that.
Yeah.
Man, and also just emphasizes balance.
Yeah. Oh, balance is the key to every skill in sport. You have great balance, you're going to be, great balance at plate, great balance as a shooter, great balance throwing football, being on target, great balance as offensive lineman. If you're off balance, what did the rushers do? They just knock you aside.
All right, good episode.
Great episode.
See you guys next time.
Yes, thanks to Mike Herrera, our director, producer, and all-around good guy. David Joe saying so long till episode 29.